Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili nishmas imi merosirus bas Mordechai. Rabbi Sai, things are very interesting these days. We had a tremendous tzara today. I'd call it a tzara because things are changing in the world. Klal Yisrael is becoming more and more hefker. You see what happened in Russia today, that a mob, hundreds of people, literally hundreds, storming, looking for looking to kill Yid. And Chicago is not far behind Loyalenu. Thousands in the streets today, and they became violent. Brooklyn, New York. We need a geula. We also need people to step up and be proactive and make these kind of gatherings illegal. But what we could do, whoever could do, and we Torah Magnum Matzla. So let's say Kapitel Tehillim for us and all of Klal Yisrael, for the Shvuyim, for the Chaylim. I was just talking to Noam Fix. He told me that his stepfather has, I think he said 6 sons in the army. One of them is in Lebanon, and one of them got shot in the face. Shot in the face. They had to redo his jaw and everything. So there's a lot of tzaras in Klal Yisrael. A lot of people need a refuah. Kapitel Kuf Lamed. We could say it together. Shir Hamalois Mimamakim Krosicho Adonai Adonai Shemo B'Koili Tieno Oznecho Gashuvois L'Kol Tachanunoi Im Avoinois Tishmorio Adonai Mi Amoid Kimcho Aslicho L'man Tiborei Kivisi Adonai Kivso Nafshi V'Ledvoroi Cholti Nafshi L'Adonai Shemrim L'Boiker Yachel Yisrael El Adonai Kim Adonai Yachesed V'Arbei Imoy Fedus V'Hu Yivdes Yisrael Mikol Avon Acheinu Kol Beis Yisrael Anesunim B'Tzoro U'Vashivya Hoim Dem Bein Bayom U'Bein Bayabosho Hamokim Yirachim Aleim V'Yitzim Mitzoro L'Rvacha Me'afelo L'Yoiro Mishibud L'Geula Hashto Bagalo Uvizman Koriv V'Rimar Omein. One thing that we can do is when we say Mater Asurim, how many times we say it every day? At least 4 or 5 times minimum. No, we say in Pesukah de Zimra, we say it in Shmuel Israeli. So we can be mechaben, because a lot of times we say it by rote. We don't even know what we're saying. No, pause for a second. Mater Asurim makes a difference. The boys, I just want to show you the Siyum in Manchester. So it says like this. Is this Manchester? I think so. Yeah. But what's amazing is that Shimi Leafman from Manchester usually runs this with others, is going to be in the Shabbaton. So I guess the others are doing it. The Chashav others. You learn it, you live it, you love it, now celebrate it. Shmak. Galasiyam, Mesechtes Kiddushin. And of course, Shabbos of achdus. So somebody stepped up today, and you heard it here first. It's not negate to you guys, it's negate to whoever listens to this tomorrow. 7 people are being sponsored $300. You have to put in a code, save $300. That's the name of the code. 7 people. Choshev Zachen are happening. It's going to be a tremendous Shabbos of achdus, and we're very much looking forward to spending a Shabbos. It's going to be Shabbos Mamash of Chizuk, and you could come as well. Be'ezer Hashem. What do we have here? Good morning, Rebelli. I can't believe it's been a year since I joined the MDYer family. This morning I saw on Shimi Leafman's status flashback of the Galasiyum in Manchester from last year, and it's been a year already since I've joined and haven't missed a daf since. Time really flies. Despite traveling a lot, shir getting uploaded at unknown times, Baruch Hashem managed to keep up and still going strong. As you once mentioned, you'd like your Talmidim to check in once in a while that they're still on board. Yes. Geshmak, thank you for checking in. Still going strong, Baruch Hashem. Managed to recruit many people learned in many different countries, managed to finish many mesechtas. I'd like to wish you much Hatzlocha and should only keep on going and looking forward to finishing Shas with you. Your Talmud, Eli Goldschmidt, since Nedarim. Wow, Nedarim is only a year ago? Seems like, I guess. Isaac Mosbacher. Now, I don't know where he's from, but look at his name over there. Liebe Group, I don't know, where's that from? The two things over the U? Germany? Mm-hmm. Germany. That's how they do it over there? Yes. Not France? Okay, for you. This one. Next. Another brown Gemara. This is video Fun, yeah. Never. VON. Fun Isaac Mosbacher. About $500,000. I guess there's a tunnel in Germany. Everything's for sale, I guess. But it's very, very... Okay. Shkoyach. Everything's for sale, even my Gemara. But not for $500,000. Fellow Jew, Shalom Israeli, I'm 14 years old and I've been dafing since Daf Beis. Since I won't be there for Shabbos, I'm wondering if the Motzei Shabbos Siyum is open to all. Also, is there being a live shir on Bava Kama at some point that night? Your Talmud, Moishie W. So the answer is yes. There is, I think there's a cost. It's like right around $100. It's open to the Olam, whoever can't make it there for, obviously if you're there for Shabbos, it's included. If you're just coming for the Siyum, it's going to be open. I don't think it's open yet on the website, but it should be open tomorrow or something. And there's going to be a live shir at 8:30 p.m. New York time. It's going to be already Daf Gimel, I believe, because Daf Beis, Bava Kama Daf Beis is Friday. Shlomi Fisher, this actually moved me. I'm not sure why, but it moved me. Gittavach, I hosted my brother at my home for a while before leaving to the airport. My brother surprised me with getting me tickets for the MDYer Shabbos. Wow, what a surprise. I can't wait to meet you. That's chashav. To me, it's beautiful. He knows the brother knew that he wanted to go, can't afford it, gave him like a $2,000 gift. That's beautiful. Bamus. Moved. So also, Nassan was telling me that some Rebbe who was going through a rough time really wanted to come, needed a break, wanted to come, but obviously he's a Rebbe, couldn't afford it. So a guy from the shul just went around, got some money together. Also, beautiful stories. Stories of achdus. Hi, Rebelli Shlita. In Friday's share, you mentioned the joke about the boy who was asked by his Melamed what his kid would be, etc. I'm sorry to say it bluntly, but you literally killed the joke. Apparently, that's what happens when a Litvisher tries to understand a Hasidic joke. Okay, I know you learned the Minkach and Skver, but come on, man. Anyway, the joke is as follows. The Melamed tried to explain to the students how one would become a mamzer, but this specific kid had a difficult time comprehending it. So the Melamed asked him, imagine your brother married to your sister. What would the kids be? The kid thinks for 5 seconds and jumps up with a smile. Oh, for sure. The kids will be 12 times in Einikel from the Tzanzerov instead of only 6 times. That's the joke. I said 12 times from the Tzanzerov instead of 6. It's 12. Yivaldik. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Shabbos. I got helped at 10. The good Shabbos. I'm looking forward to find out many details on how such a diverse group can be together for Shabbos, kind of similar to what we can expect in Beis Hamikdash B'Kurov. For instance, in what nusach the Tefillah Shabbos will be? Well, it's not going to be the same Tefillah as in the Beis Hamikdash because it's going to be nusach Svard. Beis Hamikdash is going to be Ashkenaz. Yichap? Okay. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be nusach Svard, even though MDYer dam is nusach Ashkenaz. We have to go with the Roiv. Mincha here in America, a lot of stuff is in Svard. Mincha before Shkia or after, remember there are certain Chasidus that dafke do Mincha. Kitzer, you want to know that? Come and you'll find out. I know the Shabbos will show to Hashem that we can definitely live together in peace as a nation, no matter where we come from. We can definitely figure out how to make every type of Yid feel comfortable and happy. We're indeed ready for Mashiach. From your Talmud and Shmuel Israeli for months in New York. Shkoyach. Here's Jamal Halach Aleinu. These are 2 terrorists looking in their, what is it called again? Binoculars. And they see a bunch of guys learning Torah, so they gave up. Okay, Torah Magnum Matzlo. The Mesechta is sponsored by Lakewood and Lebovic families, Lakewood, New Jersey, because Torah and achdus are the best segula. The Mesechta is sponsored for the unity achdus of Am Yisrael. Peretz Chaim Levin, Hatzlocha L'zechus Yosef Mayer ben Rochel and yidden worldwide. Peretz Chaim Levin, nishmas Zechraya ben Moishie and nishmas Chaya bas Yosef. We're combining 2 parnosei HaChodesh. In other words, there was two Parnas HaChodesh, two separate ones. I guess it's one person who put both names together. Parnas HaShavua, Natalie and Victor Kraiem, in honor of Gedalia ben Asea, Gustavo Furman. Parnas HaYoim, Moishie Dachs, Lili Nishmas, my father, Harav Tzvi Hirsch ben Moishie on his 9th Yahrtzeit. Parnas HaYoim, Peretz Chaim Levin, happy birthday to Shmuel Israeli, MDYer, extraordinaire, Admeya ועשרים, and L'zechus nishmas of Shaya, better of Shmayav, Yosef Karelitz, whose Yahrtzeit is today. Oh, somebody remembered. It's the Chazinish's Yahrtzeit today. I didn't know that he's sponsoring it for him, but you know what? Since he's saying it, I will say this. Chazanish, first of all, my brother is named after the Chazanish, Avram Yishayahu, Eli Stefansky. I want to first of all say thank you and Mazel Tov to Peretz Chaim himself, whose birthday it is today. It's also my father's birthday today. I don't know that I'll be able to. Yeah. So, a little bit about the Chazanish. First of all, the Chazanish, I didn't know, I didn't see this this thing beforehand. But the Chazanish, I was going to talk about the Chazanish tomorrow. I guess the shir is for tomorrow and tonight already. So it's the Chazinish's Yahrtzeit. So the Chazanish, I'm a huge fan of the Chazanish. Personally, I really appreciated when I was a kid. I loved the fact of his anava. Nobody knew that he existed until he was in his 50s. He wrote the Sefer Chazanish, Bilam Shem. He didn't write his name. The Chazanish, the Sefer Chazanish, many volumes. It's on every single part of the Torah, on every Masechta. Even the far-fetched mesechtas, even on things as the Dateline and Kiddush Levana and Kiddush Chodesh and all sorts of very, very complicated topics. Chazanish wrote on everything. He was a huge Yegeya and a Bal Yisurim. He didn't have children. And the Chazanish, he was a very sick man, a weak man, to the point where most of his Chiddushim, a lot of his Chiddushim were when he laid in bed. He couldn't get up. And there's a certain tshuva that the Chazanish wrote, and he writes that the Rashba is enei biyadi. I can't get to the Rashba. And his Talmidim say that it means that he couldn't get to the shelf. It was right there, but he just couldn't reach it. He was a very weak man, a big Bal Yisurim. And one very interesting thing about Chazanish, I believe he said it about himself, is that as much as he was Yegea b'Torah, he was more Yegea b'Tfilah. He was a Yegea b'Tfilah. He put a lot of emphasis on his Tfilah. So his neshama should have an aliyah. He's a huge anav, huge. Never had a official position. Didn't wear any of the rabbanish garb. Very simple kind of person. Didn't want to be known. The only reason why he became famous is because Reb Chaim Levin, the Gadol then in Europe, sent a letter to Eretz Yisrael, Ari Olam Bavel, and people started getting to know him when he moved to Bnei Brak when he's in his 50s. After he already wrote, and nobody knew who wrote the Sefer, it was a very interesting thing. Okay. Yesterday, so we'll jump into the sugya. Yesterday we had this machlekes. This is just a riddle, so you don't think that we're going into the sugya yet. We could take a quick look at this, and I have a question for the olam. We had a three-way machlekes. If a ger marries a Yisrael, a Yisraelis, Rabbi Yehuda says that the daughter cannot marry a kohen, and then on the flip side we have that even if a ger marries a giyoris, then that kid could marry a kohen. And then we have Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov that says that if two ger marry each other, not, but if one of them is a ger and one of them is not a ger, it doesn't matter if the father or the mother, then you could marry a Yisraelis. The daughter can marry a kohen. I have a question for the Olam. Is there anybody that says that a giyoris herself, we're talking, all three of these are, can a daughter of a ger marry a kohen? One sheet is absolutely not. One sheet is absolutely yes. The other sheet is if one of the parents is a Yisrael, yes. But what about a giyoris herself? Have we ever learned anything? Oh, very good. Why?
Because after 3 years old, that's the cutoff.
And so what are you saying?
So it's over 3, then I would say.
So Steinberg is saying very good. Mamish, are you like looking over the sugya before shir? I learned Mishnais.
He actually said that yesterday or 2 days ago.
See, very good. That's the answer that I was looking for. And what he's saying is that if the girl is under 3 years old, even though she herself is a giyoris, there is a shita called Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and that's what we're going to see, a fourth shita on this list that says she herself can marry a kohen because her psulim are new and everything else. She's not a zayna, etc. Okay, it's something that we learned already just a few days ago. Now we're holding Daf Ayin Ches Amud Aleph on top, 2 lines down. Omer Rabbi Yehuda. Kohen Gadol Ba'almana Loike Shtein. You should know that if a Kohen Gadol marries an almana, we always thought that there's an Isser D'Oraisa if a Kohen Gadol to marry her and he'll get Malkus. Yes, he'll get Malkus. He'll get double Malkus. Why? Achaz Mishum Lo Yikach. Achaz Mishum Lo Yichal. So here are the 2 psukim. They're one after another. One is Yudal, one is Tesvav. Almana Grusha V'chalol Zoyna say that Lo Yikach. He's not allowed to marry an almana. And it says V'lo Yichal Zaroi. He's making a chilul over here by marrying her. He's mechal her. Lo Yichal. Ask the Gemara, what about his zera? He's making his zera mechulal. It should be also another isser. Says the Gemara, there's no zera over here. If there was, you're right, there would be a third isser, but there wasn't. Masiv Rava, Almano Grusha Loike Mishum Shnei Shemais. Rava says, it says in the Brisa, it says that you get Malchus on 2 things. If the woman is an almana and she's also divorcee, she gets 2 malchus. According to you, Rabbi Yehuda, how many malchus should she get? 4. 2 for an almana. You just said if she's an almana, you get 2, and if she's a grusha, she gets 2. Also the same pasuk. Almana ugrusha lo yikach. So there's a lo yikach on the grusha and there's a lo yichalal on the grusha. Why isn't there 4 malchus? You're telling me you only get 2. According to you, there should be 4. Says Gemara, you're only getting malchus 1 for almana and 1 for a grusha, but you're not addressing the lo yikach and the lo yichalal. Take a look at this for a second. So you have a couple that's married, and he gives her a divorce. And then she got married. It jumped around there too much. Then she got married to this guy, and then he dies. So what is she? She's a grusha and an almana. She's an almana from the Dan on the right side. She's a grusha from that guy on the left. And then she marries a kohen gadol. Says the Gemara, we thought that there's only a iser almana and iser grusha. Not true. It means 2. For the grusha, for the almana, she's going to get whatever she deserves for an almana, which is 2. And for the grusha, she's going to get, or he's going to get another 2 isurim. He's going to get a total of 4 malchus. Yes, he's over on the almana. How many malchus do you get for an almana? That's 2. He's also over for a grusha. How many for that? That's another 2. Can't believe it. I'm looking now at the clock. We started like 17 minutes ago. It's crazy. Maybe even more, 18 minutes ago. Time flies. But how do we explain the next part? Grusha v'chalutza. If he marries a grusha who also happens to be a chalutza, she lost a husband who never had children, and she's chayiv in yibum or chalitza, she does chalitza. A kohen should not marry her. She's like a divorcee. But she's a double divorcee. She's a divorcee plus she's a chalutza. And chayiv ella achas. Over here it says mefurish, you only chayiv 1. It's a very strong lashon, only 1. Says the Gemara, so l'chayra you chayiv for the grusha. What? Oh, we're getting there. I see Mamish looked it over. This is also Mishnayos. I got it. Okay, cool. It's coming up. Everything that you're talking about is coming up. The Gemara understands. In chayiv al-achas, he's only chayiv for the grusha, for chalutza. Says Gemara, no. In chayiv al-achas, only on 1 out of the 2. He's only chayiv for the grusha because of what you said. He's not chayiv for the chalutza at all. 0. He's chayiv only for the grusha. And how many are you chayiv for a grusha? 2. That's Rav Yehuda's halacha. For each isser, you chayiv 2 times malchus, not 1 time malchus. What are you talking about? Oh, you're saying, how is there malchus? Yeah, okay. So it's the lava bo mechlal asay. You're asking why is there? Yeah, I don't know that that's a problem. Vatanya grusha ainli ela grusha chalutzim enayin. So the Gemara says, wait a minute, you're telling me chalutz is only the rabbanon, that a kohen can't marry chalutz because the rabbanon? Well, it doesn't seem like that from the Gemara. Why? Because it says chalutz enayin. How do you know that a kohen should not marry a chalutz? Tamaloi mar v'isha. Let's see the pasuk for a second. Isha zayna chalal yikachu, v'isha grusha misha lo yikachu. Now I highlighted the word isha here. You see that it's brought down one too many at least. The pasuk starts off with isha, so we know they're talking about a woman. It could say isha zayna chalal lo yikachu ugrusha misha lo yikachu, or it should say grusha mi isha lo yikachu. What's v'isha grusha mi isha? So the Gemara says, you see from the Gemara that we're learning from the word v'isha that a chalutz is asat hakoyin. It's not the rabbanon, it's the deraisa. So the Gemara the rabbanon cross smachta b'alma. No, the Torah really didn't mean to learn from this pasuk. This is chachamim, their way of bringing a raya to their words, but they're not serious about it being a real deraisa. It's not a real deraisa. It's a nice raya to them, but not a deraisa. Omar Abai. Kiddush loika. If a kohen is mekadosh just Kiddushin, he goes ahead and he gives the kala a ring, he gets malchus. This kala is asatim, she's a divorcee, or he's a kohen gadol and she's an almana, or she's a whatever she is, she's a halal, whatever she is. Just by giving her a ring, loika, baal, then he goes ahead and he has bia, loika again, he gets another malchus. Kiddush loika mishum loikach, just to be mekadosh, it's in the pasuk, loikach. You shouldn't. Oh, where's that he said before? Hold on, let's go all the way back. Lo yikach. You see, lo yikach is a lav. Lo yikach. What were we saying before?
It says ki yikach on the.
Yeah, but we're going with the lo yikach. Here, lo yikach. Oh, ki yikach. He's saying on this thing over here. You know, the Gemara says ki yikach. It's a lashon of the Gemara. Lo yikach. It says over here. Lo yikach. You're right. It's a mistake. You should say lo yikach. Correct. Okay, not your fault. I'm telling you because of this, because of that. No. Erison, you are over on a lav. Just Kiddushin. Bia Baal, you're over another one. Why? Because it says Liikach, Baal Leikim Shum, Loichalal. Okay, so that's what we said before, but the Abai is learning, he learns that it's also Kiddushin and Bia. Rava Amar no, Baal Loika. It's only if you finish and there's Bia over there. Loi Baal and Loika, you don't get Malchus just for Kiddushin. Why? What's the whole point of not getting engaged? Mishum Loichal, they shouldn't come to the Chilul. If there's a Chilul, then you get Malchus. So Abai agrees that when a person gets divorced and he gets divorced, just Kiddushin without Bia, there's no Malchus. Why? Where's the pasuk? Let's go back over here. Here we go. That went too far. Okay. So Rashi says over here that lekachta means what? What does lekachta mean? No? Kiddushin. From the Gemara, it's mashma bia. But Rashi points out, that's why I want to point it out. That's why I put it here. Lekachta's Kiddushin. But lios li isha is the bia part.
So is it for every active bia or just?
What?
Is it every active bia he would get?
Oh, so that I looked up in the Rambam. It seems like there might be a machlokes here between the Rambam and Rashi. I wasn't sure. I don't know. Lekachta lios li isha. Omer achmana. Voleka. I had a bigger problem with the not a problem, but I wasn't so sure on the Kiddushin. Every act of bia, does it invoke a Kiddushin Isser or not? It seems like not. Rava would admit that if he jumps to the bia without Kiddushin, Shalaikid is Malkis. V'lo yichal zar ba'ama, because you're even lo yichal. Or Rachman. Very chilal. He was mechal without Kiddushin. U'shnei moedim b'machzor gushasa shem bal v'lo kiddush she'ena loika. And everybody agrees by machzor gushasa that he jumped to the bia without Kiddushin. There's no Malkis, because derech likuchen asur torah, like you see, u'lekachta, loshav lekachta, that has to be first Kiddushin, then bia. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, bas ger zocher kebas cholol. Rabbi Yehuda says that the daughter of any ger is pasal kuhuna, just like the daughter of any cholol is pasal kuhuna. Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, bas ger zocher kebas cholol zocher vadinoisen. So over here, we have a very nice chart. I like this chart, the way it came out. It came out great. It goes like this. There's a circle here. A cholol whose father is a regular kosher Jew. Nevertheless, we said that a cholol, generation after generation after generation of cholol, the child is always puzzle. Even though the father initially was a kosher. Ger, this is the point that we're trying to figure out in this chart. A ger, sheba metipa psula, is the daughter of a ger puzzle. I'll prove it to you. A chalal comes from a tipa kshera. His father is kosher. So certainly the daughter of a ger who started off his life from a guy, from a tipa psula, and it didn't should be the psula, his daughter should certainly be puzzle. So it goes like that in the chart. That a ger we can learn from a chalal. Says the Gemara, Malach chalal sheken yitzirasa ba'aveira. So we go again in the chart. What's the raya from a chalal? A chalal created a daughter bi'isr. She was created bi'isr. Her father shouldn't have married the mother or whatever it is. There's an isr here. Mashenkein by a ger, he didn't do anything wrong. He was a Jew, 100% Jew when he had his daughter. So there's nothing wrong with her. Says the Gemara, Kohen Gadol, the Yitzira was Ba'avera. He himself is Ba'avera. He was created through an Avera, the father. The father of his daughter was created Ba'avera. But the father of this daughter of a ger wasn't created Ba'avera. He didn't do anything wrong. He was a... Says Gemara, Kohen Gadol Ba'almana Yechiach. So we learn from a Kohen Gadol Ba'almana that the Kohen Gadol himself wasn't created by Avera. He's a kosher guy. The Kohen Gadol himself wasn't created by Avera, but the daughter is possible. Says Gemara, Ma'ala Kohen Gadol Ba'almana can be also by Avera. See, it keeps on going in a circle. The bia of the Kohen Gadol was an Avera. Masha Enkin what? A ger. We're still trying to figure out, is the daughter of a ger possible? Why should the daughter of a ger be possible? We learn from a chalal, we bring a raya from a kohen gadol, but at the end of the day, the kohen gadol has no business being with an almana. That union is a union of isser, but the union of a ger, he has no isser being married and having a daughter. So why should she be possible? Says Gemara, the chalal himself has no problem getting married. Let him get married. He himself is apostle. But the chal himself is maybe a ger is different. Maybe a ger, then we could just go in a circle. A ger is different than a chal, etc., etc. And we go around in a circle. We can't bring a right that what chal is going to prove that ain't be also ba'aver. But the problem is that a chalal is from a tipik sheira. Chazadin lo rizeh k'rizeh. Everything has its own positive, negative, but one thing we have between a chalal and the kohen gadol. She'enam b'rei v'kol. Here, take a look. Both the kohen gadol and chalal have one thing in common, that they have a psul here. Enam b'rei v'kol. Afeni avis hager, she'enam b'rei v'kol, and therefore ger should be the same thing. Will be the psula. Take a look at this. Beautiful. The almana and the chalal, they have an avera. You see, yitzir ba'avera, biyase ba'avera, but there's an avera involved there. A ger doesn't have that. So maybe the daughter of a ger shouldn't be. And this throws off the whole circle. Therefore, we have to start over again. So take a look at this chart for a second. We're going to drop the kohen gadol. Because we don't have a circle anymore. Why? Because we said that a Kohen Gadol has an Aveira. His whole Bia was Ba'aveira. A Chalal has a Aveira because he was created Ba'aveira. So we have to drop a Kohen Gadol. So we go like this, we drop the Kohen Gadol. This is a mistake. He left it in by mistake where it says Poislim B'Biyasam. Pretend it's not there now. Okay? I didn't know how to get rid of it. It's supposed to come on a little later. So now, now we have the circle the way we wanted it. The what? The Chalal, we should learn a ger from a Chalal. But the problem is that a ger is a type of psula. So then we bring a raya from a Chalal. But a Chalal, the problem is Yitzir is Ba'aveira. And then we say, but you know what? Here's a Mitzri Dar Rishon. His Yitzir is not Ba'aveira. A Mitzri is allowed to marry a Mitzri. Egyptians don't have Aveira marrying each other, yet their daughter is Pasul. So we're going to stick in, instead of a Kohen Gadol, we're sticking in the Mitzri. So the next problem is that if you're going to bring a raya from Mitzri, the Rishon, his thing is that he cannot get married into the nation. That's why his daughter is possible. But not a ger. A ger could marry. And this you see on top, mutar b'kol. V'chazar din l'rizik rizeh. It's a shavshem shein b'roiv hakol. Will be the psula. Here, so we're going to add on all these roiv kahols in a b'roiv kol. And the daughter is puzzle, so to a ger, his daughter should be puzzle. I mean, obviously, a ger shein b'roiv kol will be the psula. Now the Gemara sticks in. That's what the purple square is. What's the raya? The chalal is paisel b'biyasai. Chal mitzri paisel b'biyah. That what? When they have relations with a woman, they make her apostle. Says the Gemara, okay. Review the ger nami paisel b'biyasai. There is a tzad shava, a chalal, mitzri, and a ger have one thing in common, that according to Rabbi Yehuda, when a ger has a relationship with a woman, he makes her usher to a kayan. So they're all similar in that way. A chalal and a mitzri also, they make a woman puzzle. And therefore, Rashi just sticks in. So it'll go a chalal that comes from a tipuk sheira. He makes a woman puzzle with his bia, even though he himself emanates from a tipa kshera, so certainly a ger that comes from a tipa psula should make his daughter pasal l'kuhuna, and that's how we learn that a ger's daughter is pasal l'kuhuna. Ger. So now that's it. Next sugya. Remember the three machlokes. What's the shaylo here? If a ger marries a Jew, what's the status of their kid? According to Rabbi Yaakov, kosher. Daughter is kosher, according to Rabbi Yaakov. Different than what we learned until now. And here we have a fourth shita called Rishon B'Yochai, and that's what we said in the beginning of this year. The what? Not only is the daughter of a Giyaris kosher or the daughter of a ger kosher, if they're married to a Jew, but even a Giyaris herself, there's a Hechatimtza where she herself is kosher to marry a Kohen. How? If she's less than 3 years old, when she became a Giyaris. By Midyan, it says you should leave all the women, the babies, you should leave alive. Pinchas is a Kohen. How is he allowed to marry a child? A child that became a Giyaris? The answer is because it's mutter under the age of 3. She's not considered a Zayna. Oh, V'Rabbanan, what are they going to do? Keep them alive so they can marry the slaves, they can be shivchas. So the Gemara they all, the machlokes is based on the same pasuk. It's just the different ways of learning the same pasuk. Amanu grusha leikhu lahem lanoshim kim sulas mizera beis Yisrael. The koyanim shouldn't take amanu grusha. Rabbi Yehuda sava ad is klazer mi Yisrael. Rabbi Yehuda says, so there's 3 ways to look at this. Rabbi Yehuda says the entire child has to come from Yisrael. Right? So if you look at this chart, remember again, Rabbi Yehuda is the one that says that if one of the parents is not Jewish, the child is pasal l'kahuna. Why? Because you need both parents. Kol zera has to be Jewish. Mizera, mem, from, afilu mikta zera. So that's the sheet of Reb Eliezer ben Yaakov here in the chart, the middle one, that even if one of the parents is Jewish, then the daughter is kosher l'kuna. Rabbi Yosef in the third sheet is Misha Nizru b'Yisrael. No. A ger and a giyores, they get married and they have a child, that daughter is kosher l'kuna. Why? Because she became pregnant when she was a Jew. And that's all you need. Fourth and final sheet, you can have a situation where the daughter was born as a goy, but became a giyores when she's 2.5 years old. Her psulim, regardless if she has psulim or not, her psulim are kosher psulim. Why? Because her psulim will come back, they grow back if she's under 3 years old. Take a look at this pasuk. It says in the pasuk, who's this referring to? Who has to marry a psula? Kohen Gadol. So Mamela, this part of the pasuk is talking about a Kohen Gadol. Now let's continue. Who can marry an almana? Kohen Hedyet. So the second part of the pasuk, the red part of almana mekoyin yikachu, is referring to a Kohen Hedyet. As the Gemara, is it possible that the first part of the pasuk is referring about to a Kohen Gadol, and the second part of the pasuk is talking about a Kohen Hedyet? Amrlein, there's such a thing. Because of Kirachi, the pasuk talking like that. Amrlein, the Siv, V'ner Likim Ter Michbe Ushmul Sheiche Beichel Hashem. V'aloi Ein Yeshiva Ba'Zara. How could the second part of the pasuk say? Before the candle, the ner Likim went out, Shmuel's laying in the heichal. You can't lay down in the heichal. Ein Yeshiva Ba'Zara L'malchi Beis David B'vad. Only a king could sit down. Elo ner Likim Ter Michbe Beichel Hashem. Shmuel was outside of the heichal. There's such a thing in a pasuk. Fine. Rabbi Sai, don't forget, we're starting. I forgot to talk about it before. I remember now. We're almost at Bava Kama. How many daf? 3. 3 days, no? 4. 4 days. It's a great Gedalia time. Be'ez Hashem, we have something. I'm working very hard on something new for Bava Kama. Something very special. I think it'll change the way the shir is. Be'ez Hashem, it should work. And bring your friends, bring your family. I know officials doing something I saw, but I have to see. He did a whole incentive for his chevra. Shout out to his shuls over there. And Be'ez Hashem, see everybody at the Shabbaton. By the way, the raffle. The raffle is going to be on Wednesday. Be'ez Hashem. And a whole bunch of people are joining, so your odds are getting worse. Maybe we should increase the odds a little bit. But it's good. Okay, Givaldik. I hope you have enough time to book flights. It's on Wednesday. You have to be there by Friday. Okay. That's when I'm going to book my flights anyway. Zog the Gemara. So we just had this pasuk here. Here it is. So we show it here. MDYer. Oh, that's right. MDYer.com. There's other places I forgot to mention. I spoke about Manchester. I was hoping that I would remember to say Chicago's having a siyum. Yosef is not going to be there. Be'ez Hashem is going to be in New York. But Chicago's going to have a siyum. And some other interesting place that I don't remember seeing before. I saw there's like 4 or 5 places on there. No?
Gaza.
Gush Kativ, Be'ez Hashem, coming soon. Okay, we got to move. But this place that we just saw, Toronto. No, there was an interesting place. Oh, Neria in Israel. What's the guy's name from Manchester? I forgot his name. Yossi, the guy that does the luach for us. He's Manchester. Yeah, Yossi Dahari. Thank you. He's the guy that's probably running Manchester Siyum right now. Okay, Zogdi Gemara. You can marry an almana that came off a kohen. You hear what's going on here in the pasuk? This is a pasuk in Yecheskel. V'halmana asher tiyeh almana mekohen. If she's a widow from a kohen, you can marry her. What? That's the only almana you're allowed to marry? If she's a widow of a kohen, if she's a widow from a Levi, not, and a widow from a Yisrael, not. Mikohenim Yisrael loy hachi gamar. Mikohen yikachu. Mishar kohenim yikchu. So it's a play on words. Doesn't mean that she has to be from a kohen. It means mi kohen from the other types of kohanim, they're allowed to get married. Meaning not a kohen gadol. You hear what's going on here? There's all the kohanim in the world. From the kohanim, not all the kohanim, from the kohanim. There's one kohen that can't marry an almana. His name is a kohen gadol. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that she has to be a widow from a kohen. It's a very interesting lashon. If you could marry off your daughter to a kohen, then you're allowed to marry that almana. Meaning, who did we just learn you cannot marry? The daughter can't marry a kohen, a ger. So if a ger has an almana, if a widow's husband, late husband was a ger, she cannot marry a kohen. Why? Because her daughter can't marry a kohen. Right? You hear what's going on here? You guys are falling asleep on me. The daughter of a woman who marries a ger cannot marry a kohen. The daughter can't marry a kohen. So the mother can't marry a kohen either. Rabbi Yehuda Tamei, Domar, Bas ger zocher kebas chol zocher. The daughter of a ger is never allowed to marry a kohen, and therefore kol shatanoisa bita atanoisa almanasai. We have a rule. If you can marry the daughter, you can marry the mother. If you cannot marry the daughter, then you can't marry the mother who is married to the ger. So that's what the pasuk means to say. That if the daughter can marry the kohen, then you can marry the mother. That's what the pasuk means. Rabbi Yossi is the most makel, and he says even two gerim, two converts that marry each other and they have a daughter, that daughter could marry a kohen. We paskin like that, two gerim that they have a daughter, perfectly good for a kohen. And that's the halacha. Once we had a churban abayis, nagu kohanim silsul ba'atzmam kivlezim Yaakov. So kohanim took upon themselves the extra chumrah. You hear what's going on here? When you don't have the Beis Hamikdash, you have to be machmir on yourself. You have to step it up. So they said, you know what? We're going to pass like Rebbe Lezmi Yaakov. What is Rebbe Lezmi Yaakov? Is the middle shita. He says, two parents gerim, daughter no good. One parent a Jew, daughter good. So that's what we're going to be machmir like that. Omer Rav Nachman Omer Lihuna Bali Malach. If he comes to ask the Rav, Morim like Rebbe Lezmi Yaakov. You tell him, listen, if both parents are gerim, sorry, can't marry a kohen. Nasa, but if the kohen went ahead and he married this daughter of two converts, ein moitziin oisam imeno Rabbi Yossi. Then l'maisa the halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. So we're not going to force somebody to get divorced. If he didn't listen to us, he went ahead, or he didn't know maybe, he went ahead and got married. Zok the Mishnah, hoimer b'ni zeh mamzer. Ein in my son is a mamzer. In other words, the father is testifying about himself that he was over on an Isser Karis, and the kid is a mamzer. He's not believed. Both the father and the mother say that this kid is a mamzer, meaning the father is saying, I'm not the father. And she's saying, yeah, he's not the father. Like by Makis B'chayris. Remember Makis B'chayris? Not only did the B'char die, but let's say a guy had 9 kids. The B'char died, number 7 died, number 3 died, and then there was people chopping. Oh, these attack B'charim just from different people. So, the famous Maisa with Ramosha Feinstein, and this is Mamashir in the Mishnah. Under the chuppah, said this Maisa a bunch of times. Under the chuppah, the mother, she's walking around the kala, and the mother tells Ramosha Feinstein, my son is a mamzer. So he said, you have no nemanos. And immediately he went into it. I'm just imagining like the kala like leans over to the chassan. What did your mother just call you? It's like, what just happened? You're a mamzer? Let's talk about it later. Okay. Moishie didn't believe. They asked her Moishie like, but she said the kid's a mamzer, and like, why did you flinch? Like, how did you remember the halacha? Like, He says, because when I was learning the Mishnah, this Mishnah over here, Einam Ne'emanim, she has no Ne'emanos, I was picturing to myself like a 3D movie in my head. I'm under the chuppah, and somebody's going to come over and say, the father's going to say, Mamzer, I'm going to say, no, Einam Ne'emanim. Boom. And he put it into, that's what he said. In order to remember, like Moishie Dachs remembered, you have to like picture things. Rabbi Yehuda argues on the whole thing, and he says, Ne'emanim, a father is believed to say, this is my son a Mamzer. The parents are believed to say that the baby that's not even born yet, which is less of a chiddush, it's in the stomach. Mamzer. Says Gemara, what does it mean? Even both of them agree. Okay, you could say the father has no clue who the real father is. She knows very well who the real father is. She's also not believed. You would think, okay, the father, the reason why he's not believed, because the son, who he's testifying about as a mamzer, is already alive and well, and for the first 6 weeks of his life, he was kosher. Comes the father and tries to take away his cheskes kashrus, he's not believed. But the fetus wasn't born yet, so it didn't even have a chazaka on it yet. There's no chazaka to attach itself to the baby. I would think maybe it's so weak that the father should be believed in that case. Loi mehemni is not believed. Rabbi Yehuda says Rabbi Yehuda, Nemanim. Father is believed, mother is believed. Kidusanya yakir yakiren la'acherim. Because kisabchar ben asnua yakir. This is an interesting lashon. It's an extra lashon. What does it mean yakir? He recognizes. He wants to give the bchar, the hated one. He wants to give two chalakim in the bchara. Okay, but what's yakir? Recognize. Says Gemara yakiren la'acher. That he has the ability to introduce him to the world, to other people, and say, Rabbi Isai, this kid is a mamzer. A person is believed to say, this is my son of the Bechar. In other words, here I have 10 children. This one is going to get 2 portions, double than everybody else. We had this Gemara, just like a person is believed to say, this is my Bechar. It's interesting, right? Even though saying I had relations as with even though I'm a Kraiem, my wife was a grusha, I was a chalutza. Can't. There's no nemanas like that. Okay, we can understand why the Torah used the interesting lashon of Yakir. He recognizes according to Rabbanan. Why does the Torah talk about recognizing? He just wants to give 2 portions to this bchar. What is he recognizing? When nobody knows who the bchar is, and he wants to help this kid to get 2 portions. To give him 2 portions. Says Gemara Pshita. Why should he not be believed? Why do I need a pasuk? So as the Gemara beautifully, the father's alive. He can take whatever he wants. He can give this kid 3 portions if he wants. He can give him the whole thing. He can give him a gift. So why shouldn't he be believed that he's the bchar to get 2 portions? He has a migui. I need a pasuk for that. Says the Gemara, we're talking about davar sheloi b'la'olam. Could a person be makne davar sheloi b'la'olam? So what we have? We have a child who this father decided that he's a bchar. In 2020, he decided he's a bchar. In 2028, the father made $10 million, which it didn't exist at the time that he said he's a bchar. So at the time that he said a bchar, you couldn't give him. You're saying, oh, he has a migo, you could give him all of it. But he didn't have $10 million when he decided that this kid is the bchar. This 10 million came later. It's a davar sheloi b'la'olam. That's the chiddush. That's why I need a pasuk that he could decide today on something that's going to happen tomorrow. As the Gemara, we had a whole sugya with Meir. If a person could say, I'm going to get married to you after you become a giyores, that's davar sheloi b'la'olam. He says it works. So, I'm giving you today 2 portions on something that doesn't exist yet. When I make $10 million, I'm giving you 2 portions today. What's the chiddush? I don't need a pasuk for that. Yakir lamali says Gemara shenafel like shu goises, because when he made the $10 million, he wasn't in a position to say anything. He couldn't even talk. He wasn't available. He was alive, but not available. Now, first of all, we have here a concept in Shas called Adam Makna Davish Le'Olam. We had it before, but it's good to repeat. Whether or not, according to Mayer, Adam Makna Davish Le'Olam, according to everybody else, ain't Adam Makna Davish Le'Olam. But we have another yisod here. Because Rashi asks a question, why can't you just say that the father died? And after he died, they sold his stocks and poof, it went up. Or after he died, there was a huge increase in the real estate market and everything quadrupled. Yeah? Why can't you say that? Because that's the famous concept called Ein Bechar Noito B'Roikim Emusik. Bechar doesn't get two portions in something that increased in value after the father died. The increase in value has to be before the father dies, even though he's a Bechar. They didn't divide the Yerusha at all. When the father died, there's $1 million, and the Bechar is going to get $666,000. Another one is going to get $333, and then all of a sudden, before they even all of a sudden it doubled. So instead of the Bechar getting 1.2, whatever it is, he only gets, I don't know what the cheshbon is, 6 plus 5, he gets 1.1 million. You know what I'm saying? Kitzer, he doesn't get on the increase of the extra money. So we have to be saying that the increase happened when he was alive, but he wasn't able, he wasn't there, he wasn't available to give it. And that's the chiddush of Yakir, that he gets the 2 portions. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day. Psuras, Toivas, and Klal Yisrael.